Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Self Love Sundays. I am Monique Arpagon, your emotional eating coach. Thank you so much to the replay viewers who are watching. Make sure you type hashtag replay in the comments below so that I know that you are here. Thank you to those of you who are joining me live on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. I'm so happy that you've decided to spend your time with me tonight. And we are talking about reparenting your inner child. Last week, we talked about your inner child. We talked about how to recognize your inner child in your day to day life. And tonight, we are talking about how to reparent our inner child. And I'm going to be sharing with you simple tips on how to go through that reparenting process. But if you missed the first piece, the first part of the inner child, make sure you go back and watch the replay of that. It might be much easier for you to find it on my YouTube channel. Just search Monique Arpagon and I should come up. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into the topic. If you are here, just go ahead and say hello. And let's do this. So, reparenting usually comes up for children or adult children who are of alcoholic parents and when they're going through therapy. Through my research, I found that it's so important for not just those of us who have gone through very traumatic situations to reparent, but even those of us who may have not had like such traumatic situations to happen in our lives as we were growing up. Like it's very important for us to reparent the inner child no matter how we grew up. Yeah. Especially if our parents were parenting from a wounded place. And I mean, we're all human. So we all have some type of wounding. We all have experiences that have left some type of hurt, some type of scars. And so if our parents didn't reparent themselves and heal their wounds, it's very possible that they could have projected things onto us and we are living out their wounds as well. And so I wanted to give you a definition of what reparenting is, and it's from Dr. Nicole LaPera. She states that reparenting is the practice of relearning how to meet your needs as an adult. I love that she says a practice because it is something that you do every day. It's something that you practice and that you might not get right, and it's going to look different every single day because we need something different every day. Okay. I also love that she says it's relearning because I don't know necessarily why she said relearning, but in my opinion, I believe that at some point we really knew our needs. I'm sorry about the background noise. We knew what we needed. I can tell in my boys and how intuitive and how in tune they are with their bodies. They know when they're hungry. They know when they're full, and so I believe that it is a relearning of the needs, what we need and how to meet those needs. Yes. So I hope that that definition really helped you. I'm not sure if you can hear my husband in the background. He is doing the absolute most. Um, and so it is reparenting is for sure a journey of remembering who you are at your core and tuning in from moment to moment and honoring the needs of your mind, of your body, and of your spirit. And I believe that it's important for a few things to take place before or in order for the reparenting process to really move forward. And from what I've noticed in my clients, and it really doesn't matter what age they are, because my clients range from their late 20s to their early 60s, a very wide range in age. And I've guided each and every one of them that has dealt with emotional eating through a reparenting process of some sorts. It looked different for each and every one of them because of their past experiences were different, because of where they were at this moment of the moment of coaching is just completely different. So reparenting looks completely different for each and every person. Yeah. But like I was saying, I think that it's important for us to um, do to notice a few things. because in those clients, I also noticed that their parents' voices were just so loud in their minds. And to them, those voices sounded like God. And we talked a little bit about that last week. And what needs to happen is you need to begin to humanize your parents, because when you see your parents as all knowing, it's very easy to blame them. It's very easy to be unforgiving. And so seeing them as human, just as you are, as imperfect, as broken humans, um, it's very important, because reparenting is not about blaming your parents. Reparenting is about realizing that your parents did the best that they could with what they had. Um, no matter what happened. And I know that some of you have gone through some very traumatic situations. And it's really important to try to see things from their perspective, understand where they, like, their training, their conditioning, the things that they have gone through, and try to find some type of empathy for them in this healing process of your own. I had a client to actually say, do you not have like any harsh feelings towards your parents? And I was like, no, not at all. And I mean, I've done the work. I've been doing the work for about 5 to 6 years. And so, the work that I've done is, one, humanizing my parents and realizing that they didn't know everything, and that, they did the best that they could with what they had, and understanding their background. It was much easier for me to understand my dad's background because he was very open about the things that he had gone through as a child. And I could see from his stories how he really did whatever he could to not give me and my brother the same childhood as he had. And with my mom, it was a little bit more difficult for me to empathize with her. I don't know that much about her background as far as like how she was raised and what environment she was raised in. And so I honestly had to kind of do what I call be spiritually nosy. I had to like tap into her energy, remember things that had happened in my childhood, and really kind of see things from her perspective, really understand the energy that was underneath everything, underneath whatever was said or what was done. And so it was a real process. And also I wanted to bring up that from my own personal, hi Kayla, I see that you're here on Instagram. Thank you so much for saying hi and joining in. From my own personal story, I had to put up boundaries with my parents. And that was a form of reparenting for myself. Put up boundaries and continue to hold those boundaries, right? And so over and over and over again. And I was sharing with my client that, I would have a conversation, have the conversation again. Parents don't like when they're adult children hold boundaries. And then I would have a blanket statement if it came up again. And then I would probably not answer the phone. And then I would probably have some type of silent treatment, right? And this still kind of comes up in the same area. They test me over and over again, every once in a while. It happened last week with my mom, and it was just complete silence. Like, that's a boundary. And she changed the subject, right? And it's not, and I see how holding this boundary has improved my relationship with them. It's improved their relationship with each other. And that's why I still hold it, because I see the benefits of holding the boundary. And so over time, my relationship with my mom has gotten much, much better. And it doesn't mean that she still doesn't, you know, do things that I don't like. Something happened last week where she really hurt my feelings. And I had to move through that and remember that, she's not capable of giving me what she can't give herself. Right. And I told my client that, if you know that your parent can't give you what you're looking for, stop going to your parent for those things. And I know it can suck. It can suck. I know that, but it's okay. And that's what I have done. I know what my mom can give me and I know what she can't. Thank you, Kayla, for the hearts on Instagram. And so what I've done is created a community of people, about 5 people who I can lean on. And one of them I pay. One of them I pay as a coach. Yeah. So you have to know what they can give you. And if they can't give you those things, create a tribe of people who can give you those things. But tonight, I wanted to do that as a preface. But tonight, I'm going to be sharing what you can do for yourself, because you also don't want to be leaning so much on other people that they are your crutch and you're not really getting anywhere in your own personal development. Okay. Let me go into the chat. I see a comment. Oh, hi, Jeremiah. Hey, good to see you. So glad that you are here on Facebook. Thank you so much for saying hi and stopping by. Yes. So let's go into reparenting and what that looks like. Okay. Again, reparenting is going to look different for everyone. It really depends on your past experiences. It depends on where you are in your journey right now. It depends on what you need right now. Okay. And as I talk through these, I will share with you how I help my clients who are struggling with emotional eating to incorporate these simple tips and strategies in reparenting their inner child. Yes. Okay. So the first one that I have up here, Instagram, you can't see it. It's is discipline. And I personally used to hate this word a lot because I thought of it as something completely different than what it actually means. And so we as adults and the inner child that lives within us, we need discipline. And we already have sets of habits that we do. If we begin to observe ourselves, we see habitual things that we do throughout the day, and it might not be getting us the results that we want. And so it's important for us to create rituals, to create habits that will really soothe us, make us feel safe, make us feel protected, and fill our cups and make us, full so that we can go throughout our days at our peak at 100. And so when I work with my clients, I really start to work with them on a morning routine. Some of them, they prefer and need to start at a nighttime routine. One client who was suffering through anxiety attacks in the morning and wasn't eating due to all of the anxiousness in her body. We worked on a really solid morning routine that incorporated her not staying in bed and getting out of the bed right away, going into her shower and doing EFT tapping in the shower, visualizing like the stress just washing away off of her body, the water's just washing away the stress from her body. And also after that, she would dance to some music and then go and make breakfast for her son and also for herself. And so that ended up working very well for her. And she felt so much more in control of, hey, Jen, I see you on Instagram. She felt so much more in control of her body, of her emotions. And so that's one way that I help one of my clients with creating some type of routine, which was through morning routine. Another way is keeping promises to yourself. And this is so important to build self-trust with yourself. Many times we can think of ourselves as not being trustworthy or not being able to finish something. And so it's important to make a promise to yourself throughout, every single day. It doesn't have to be like something huge and dramatic. I see you guys in the chat. Let me finish this and I'll say hi. um, and then keep your word. I am actually on here at 8:51 p.m. because I told you that I would show up today. And I've had an interesting day, but I am here because I said I would be here and I'm going to keep my word. So, hi, Pamela. I see that you're in the room. Thank you so much for joining. I saw that you shared. Thank you for sharing. And hi, Jeanette. Thank you for being here too. I love the hearts. Thank you so much. Let me take a little sip. of tea. All right. So the first category was discipline. Hi, Francis. Good to see you on Instagram. The second category is self-care. Self-care. Sleep is one. Really making sure that you get the good quality sleep, setting a bedtime for yourself. I have a whole broadcast on sleep because it's so important, especially if you struggle with emotional eating, because that can drive you to, if you're not sleeping well, that can drive you to reach for food, to reach for like sugary foods, starchy foods, any food that will give you um, instant, what do you call it, energy. So sleep is very important. Setting a bedtime, keeping that bedtime, waking up and not snoozing so much. I'm working on the client, working with the client who is doing such a fantastic job of keeping her promise of not snoozing and getting up out of the bed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is one of the strategies that she uses, and she gets up and she is so proud of herself. So proud of herself. Another one is nutrition. We haven't spoken a lot about nutrition in my series, and I will definitely talk about nutrition, more so about strategies, because like nutrition is different for everybody. So I like to think of it as strategies that you can use in order to keep emotional eating at bay and your cravings at bay. Hi, Kayla says, yes, so many reasons why I go for the sugar, always feeling tired, never a consistent bedtime. Yes. So I have, it's going to be hard for you to find it. Well, it might not be hard for you. Mm. Check on my YouTube channel, and I have one on Do You Suck at Sleep? And it's so many good tips on how to improve your sleep. Jeanette says, oh, sending love. Thank you. Boo. Thank you. I need it. Savalis, thank you so much for the beautiful hearts. I appreciate it. And so, yeah, again, I will come back and we will talk about nutrition. Kayla says, will do. Thank you. You are welcome. You are so welcome. Moving your body is so important. I always recommend doing movement that you actually need, whether it's HIIT cardio, some type of resistance training, what else? Some type of weight bearing, as well, to keep your bones nice and strong, and also doing things that you enjoy, that will bring you joy. Moving your body to some music that will help you move through emotions that you might be experiencing. So super important. And if you think about it, children move all the time. And so that is a perfect way to feed the inner child within. Yes. Savala says, since Monique Arpagan first class, I have lost 10 pounds and gained more muscle. Yes. I am so celebrating you. So celebrating you. So happy for you. Thank you for giving me the jump I needed. You're welcome. You're welcome. And thank yourself for showing up for you as well. I'm just a guide. You, my friend, are the hero. Okay. The next one underneath self-care is nature connection, really getting outside, feeling something that's bigger than you. And if you do have a connection with God, with source, with the universe, it's the same thing. The same thing. Yeah. So we've talked about discipline. We've talked about self-care. The next category is joy. And I see this a lot in my clients, where a lot of the times they could be waiting for joy to show up in their life. And I'm like, nah, boo, you got to inject that joy. You got to put the joy in your life. Okay. Our inner child wants to laugh. Our inner child wants to play. Okay. So we have to make sure that we are feeding her with joy, with play, whatever type of play you need safely. Yeah. Interest, having an interest, having a hobby. I have a client now who her parents didn't have hobbies. Like, she did not witness her parents having hobbies. They only worked. And it makes sense because um, they moved here from a different country. And so she is doing the same exact thing. And she is living from a scarcity mindset. And so she has no play, no hobbies, nothing. And that's something that we've been working on. And so hobbies are so important to feed the inner child. We don't always have to work. I know a lot of the times we can feel like we need to work in order to feel worthy. Not true. You're already worthy. Human connection, super, super important. I know it can be tough during these times of COVID and depending on where your state is and with quarantine. Today was like my first time seeing humans outside of this house for a very long time. We went to see some friends, and it was just such a rewarding and it just fed our souls. Yeah. So making sure we put play in our lives, making sure we're doing something that we love that doesn't necessarily bring us income and that we're not hustling to get something from somebody, but it's actually something that really feeds us. My husband, he loves to smoke briskets. So that's what he does. Yeah. And the last category is emotional regulation. And so I have a video, a replay, where I talked a lot about this with the 5 steps, which were actually 6 steps to overcome emotional eating. That actually is reparenting yourself. That's seeing yourself, that's hearing yourself, and that's giving yourself what you need and finding ways to emotionally express yourself. So if you missed that, catch that replay again. But we talked about taking the observer role, like coming back into presence, breathing, connecting with your breath to reconnect into your body. Yes. Because again, the inner child wants to be seen, the inner child wants to be heard, the inner child wants to be able to express authentically. Okay. So we have to give our inner child that opportunity. And so we take the observer role. Beginning to observe our triggers is another way of reparenting the inner child. I feel like I'm all over the place, but I have a lot of information I want to give you. And so taking the observer role, lifting yourself up, 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 up in the sky and looking down from a bird's view eye and checking in and seeing, saying, what can I learn from this situation? What do I need to give myself in this moment? And then coming back down and bringing that learning back down to yourself and giving yourself the thing that you need, right? That's what it means right here when you see conscious awareness, becoming consciously aware of those things that are triggering you and understanding um, that those triggers are just an opportunity to heal. It doesn't mean that you're a good or bad person. It just means that you have a wound that hasn't healed properly. And so it's time to take the band aid off the bullet wound, right? Let's get the bullet out of the wound first, and then let's kind of sew that back together. Yeah. So becoming consciously aware of your triggers and really meeting yourself and being honest about where you are and meeting yourself there. Meditation is a beautiful way to reconnect into the body, to soothe the inner child, to because your inner child lives in your nervous system. And so meditation can really calm the nervous system down. Yes, get you out of fight and flight and into rest and digest. A lot of you might not be digesting your food because you're all amped up and in fight or flight. You have those fight or flight hormones coursing through your body. It's important to take time daily to meditate, to close your eyes, to connect with your breath, to connect and drop down into your body. And then the last thing here is breath work. I mentioned that. And breath work can be something super simple as inhaling through your nose, exhaling out of your mouth 4 times. It can be very deep, holotrophic breath work. You can go through a 20-minute session, a 30 minutes, whatever you need. Yes, whatever you need. But it's so important to become consciously aware of where you are, of your triggers, so that you can give yourself the things that you need in this moment. Does anybody have any questions? Those are my tips. Yes, no. as you're typing in your questions, if you have any questions or if you're waiting, um, Jeanette says, whatever I need. Yes, yes, yes. And you deserve it. And she says, yes, yes, whatever you need. Speaking of whatever we need, Monique needs a break. So Monique's going to take a couple of weeks off from Self Love Sundays. And I am going to be reparenting myself and giving myself what I need because let me tell you, I don't like breaks. I'll let you know that. I don't like breaks. I don't like to feel like I'm not being productive, but I have to be honest with where I am. Question: what do you need in this moment? I love you so much. I love you so much. More than you know. By the way, Jeanette R. Smith is the one that asked the question, and she's my coach. She knows when I'm a little off. Pamela says, just wanted to listen, relax, and enjoy your family. So, yes, coach, I need a break, and I'm going to take it, even though it gives me a little bit of those anxious feelings. Jeanette says, break. Yes, yes. Stars. Bing, 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 bing. We got your back. Thank you so much. Now, I'm starting to kind of tear up a little bit, so I'm going to have to cut this off. I am starting to feel a little emotional. But yes, a couple of weeks at least. I have a couple of projects that are happening. One is I'm going into homeschooling my children this Tuesday. So my focus needs to be there. And the other, I'll let you know in a couple of weeks. It's a secret right now. And Amy says, stay in the tears. You are so loved. I'm going to cry. And I don't want to. But that's all right. I tell you guys to feel your emotions anyway. And you guys are so, so, so good to me right now. Yay for homeschooling. Yes, it is actually something that I have avoided for about a year. It was on my heart to do last year, and I wasn't really seeing how I could do it in a way that I could do it. And I've had some things to kind of push me into that direction. And I trust that this is exactly what my boys need from me. And I think it's something that I need as well. Yeah. Love you so much. I will see you all so soon. Oh, I've talked this whole time. You can't even really see my face. So, Instagram, Jeanette says you're modeling self care. And she also says that's important for coaches. Practice what you preach/teach. Happy face. And I will see you all later.